Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer and welcome to my daily 10 p.m. video. Thank you for tuning in. Now, nothing bothers me more when I come across an article of someone just blatantly making silver look like a bad investment, whether they're, leaving out important context or just talking about the negatives or making something else seem like it's better and using irrelevant comparisons. I mean, whatever it is, I hate it. And I did some digging. I found a lot of different lies about silver, myths about silver, all different types of stuff. So we're going to look at this all, and hopefully by the end of the video, we'll have a more clear understanding of what these people are trying to get across, and also, most importantly, what's the truth, right? I want to be transparent. If they do make a point or something that goes against silver, I'm going to talk about it. But, just to my knowledge, a lot of this stuff is just BS, and it's just trying to fit, their standard of what they're trying to, or what they believe in, whether that's crypto, whether that's stocks, or whatever the case is. Maybe it's, even gold. Some people will bash silver because they want to push, gold as being the best investment, which is silly because they both have their places. But anyways, the link to these articles will be in the description. I would love for you to participate. Are there any myths that you hear about silver that are nonsense, or any of these myths have you maybe never heard of or think they're valid points? I'd love for you to also interact in the comment section. So, lie number one, gold isn't money. So neither brokers, banks, nor central banks particularly want the investing public to view precious metals as a core holding. And obviously so. They prefer to think of gold as it's a barbarous relic, and that's the past and no longer serves as money. An infamous exchange in 2011 between the Federal Reserve Chairman and pro-gold Congressman Ron Paul stated flatly that gold is not money, and this is the big lie of fiat money pushers and their ideological allies. And it's funny that they said that in 2011, right, when silver's $50, right? It flies not only in the face of history, but also in the fact that central bankers themselves continue to hold and accumulate gold as monetary reserves. It is silly, and especially for silver. I mean, think about silver. Gold, at least banks, they acknowledge gold. The only reason America is the richest country in the world is because we own the most gold. But when it comes to silver, banks don't even claim that. Silver is just for, it's a commodity. It has no purpose in money. And it's funny because silver was once our money not that long ago, right? So lie number two, silver isn't money. Some misinformers will concede that gold is money but claim silver isn't. And that's so funny. I've even seen that in my comment section before. So the founding fathers of the United States would disagree strongly. They originally defined a dollar in terms of grains of silver. That's the Coinage Act of 1792, which simply codified that was universally in practice, right? And that has been for the last 5,000 years across the globe. Silver's money. Gold is money. Specifically, a dollar was to be 371.25 grains, equivalent to about 3/4 of an ounce of silver, in harmony with the Spanish milled dollar. Thus, the true foundation for U.S. circulating currency was silver. But do you think anyone's going to talk about that? And even if they did, they'll say, yeah, well, that was hundreds of years ago. But there was a reason. And there's only a reason nowadays that we're in such a terrible situation financially. Why? Look at a chart of the U.S. dollar strength. As soon as we got rid of gold and silver, specifically silver, as backed by money or backed by dollars, look what happened. The chart was okay, and then all of a sudden it just shot up. And that was because of silver. We got rid of it and everything went to crap. But anyways, so on Wednesday, the Central Bank's Open Market Committee released the minutes from its March meeting. Participants decided the Fed will soon stop selling treasuries and other paper assets on its $4 trillion balance sheet and stand pat on rates. And it's true that silver has since been removed from circulating coins and replaced with cheaper metals. Also true that silver generally isn't held in monetary reserves by central banks. Silver, however, remains the go-to tangible money of the masses. In the event of a currency collapse that causes the public to ditch fiat, silver is more likely than gold to be used to barter money in everyday transactions. And it should be. I mean, imagine trying to barter with gold. You would need like little specks. Cause think about it. Look how much money even an eighth, a gram, a little gram bar is. Think about trying to trade a quarter ounce of gold. What would be that expensive, right? Silver's perfect because it's more infractional. So line number 3, precious metals are too risky for the typical investor. That's definitely, that's BS. So this lie, it was propagated by Wall Street and the Main Street financial advisors who bought into anti-gold propaganda. Their conflict of interest is obvious, right? The dollar is gold and silver is a direct threat to the dollar. I mean, think about it. The financial industry loses out on commissions and fees when investors park wealth in hard assets because they take the control away from them, and you are in complete control when you invest in the gold and silver. And look, they're going to portray gold as exotic or risky investments, right? Using terms that have no context, right? There's no meaning. There's no way to prove that or even for it to make sense, right? So let's see. So a study from Ibbotson and Associates found that investors who put 7.1% to 15.7% of their portfolios in precious metals enjoy superior risk-adjusted returns. Gold shows virtually no correlation to stocks and bonds, meaning it can rise when paper assets fall, and that's when it does rise. Yet the average investor has nowhere near the bare minimum suggested by Ibbotson and Associates to hedge against risk in financial assets. So line number 4, cryptocurrency is more valuable than hard currency, which obviously is not true. You can't even compare the two. How are you going to compare a tangible thing to something that is non-existent in thin air? I mean, you could try to compare it with dollars, but trying to compare something that's invisible with air, fake money to something that's invisible, and also trying to compare fake money to something that's real money, it just... That doesn't make sense in any shape or form. All three of those don't make sense to compare in any way. So anyways, but unfortunately, some crypto promoters are trying to sell their digital storylines by bashing gold, which is true because crypto and gold are both the rebellious type of investment. They both go against the dollar. When you have crypto, you are in complete control. When you have gold and silver, you're in complete control. So you could see why crypto would be a threat. Anyways, line number 5, collectible coins are better investments than bullion. And no, this one I actually talked about recently. I would definitely, and I am buying bullion. The weirdest thing about this situation is bullion is starting, the name is starting to change because since silver's scarce, there's starting to become extremely high premiums, right? You look at an American Eagle, which is a standard bullion coin, right? That's bullion. But nowadays, there's $10, $15 premiums on Eagles. So is that still bullion? Bullion's supposed to be sold at spot price just for the metal content. No type of collectability. No, there's nothing special about it. So it should be sold at spot price. But American Eagles are now considered high premium silver. So is that still a bullion coin or is that a semi-numismatic coin, which high premium silver usually is? I don't know. But anyways, the point I'm trying to say is generic silver is now bullion, in my opinion. I mean, Maple Leafs, there's some other coins that are still close to spot price, but American Eagles really aren't bullion anymore, which is weird to say. So anyways, let's look at this other article. Here's another one, 5 myths of silver investing. So let's look at this. Silver is an economically sensitive metal, which... Let's look at this. So during the recession, 2008, CPM Group estimated that silver demand for the industry, 80 million mine supply also increased 30 million ounces. But you would need investors to make up 100 million ounce difference, which is exactly what they did, given the fact people understood you need to buy precious metals. Okay, so what are they trying to say? Over the course of 2000, silver more or less stable. Important to remember that when someone tells you the silver price is destined to go down in the next recession, no, why would it go down in the recession? It goes up. I mean, whoever would say that's silly. That's really silly. So, number two, silver coins and bullion coins are more plentiful than gold. That's definitely not true. It's the exact opposite, like they say. Being generous, I mean, yeah, there's maybe 1.4 billion ounces of silver in the bullion world, roughly 3 billion ounces of gold. And yes, it's true, 80% or 80 million more ounces of silver bullion are produced each year than gold. But that still means it will take 15 years before a silver stockpile in the world even equals that of gold. And plus, most silver is thrown away because it's used for, technology and stuff. So the silver that gets dug up is not going to stay in circulation. The gold that gets dug up is always going to stay in circulation. There's a very high recirculating supply of gold. I think it's like 95% of gold that gets dug up is going to stay dug up and remelted into new things forever. But silver, it gets dug up, and within probably a decade or two, it's thrown away, used for these laptops and these things that will never get the silver scrapped out of it again. So the high price of silver will drive down demand from industry, and that's definitely not true. If you want the newest, latest iPhone, if you want the newest Tesla, if you want the world to go green, if Joe Biden wants the Green New Deal to come in, to happen, then there's no way they would ever do that. No matter what the price of silver is, they're going to have to. So at the right price, billions of ounces of silver will get recycled. And many do believe that there are nearly 6 times as many ounces of silver jewelry than gold jewelry in the world. So you think that there's a lot of silver that get melted down. One problem with this argument is that much of the silver either A, costs way more than ever to be current bullion spot price, and B, is held in very small amounts over the world. Over 1 billion people, oftentimes women, and they won't care to sell silver for a long time, if ever. But there's even a more important point here. I bet most people who claim to follow precious metals don't realize that as of 2010, we had yet to see more silver recycled during 1980. That is 30 years of silver recycling more or less going nowhere, even as the price of silver spent more time below or above $20 than in 1980. I'm going to be generous and guess that we will finally best the old recycling high this year in silver at over 300 million ounces. But in a world where 300 million ounces of silver is only $10 billion, and in a world where investors are slated to purchase nearly that much in physical form over the next couple of years, you really have to wonder why anyone would think there is all this silver just lying around ready to be brought to the market to cool off silver's price. And given what I said about the impervious industrial demand is to silver's price, and as silver's price increases, a lot of whatever silver jewelry gets recycled will be used and consumed by industry. And it does make sense, right? That's a really good point. So let's look at this. 5, retail investors are fickle. There's no plan to remonetize silver. And yes, one of the things I was going to talk about as well is like coin shops. They're going to buy your pandas off you, all these high premium coins. They're going to pay spot price, even though they're going to resell them at the price you bought it at, right? Pandas going for $15, $20 over spot price, depending on the year. Your coin shop's going to say, oh, that's an ounce of silver. And you're going to say, wait, I paid a lot more for that. He's going to say, well, you got ripped off. It's no, he looks at silver as 1 ounce of silver is always 1 ounce of silver. I don't care how pretty it is. I don't care how rare it is. But yes, he does. He's just trying to get a good price off you. But he's going to say that he's buying that 1 ounce of silver inside of it. But then he's going to resell it as this high premium rare coin, right? That's what they do. So don't be fooled by silver market myths. There's a lot of misinformation, and I've covered some articles that I have torn to shreds. Like, I have absolutely ripped some of these articles apart, coming from, obviously they're not coming from silver sites or anything. They're coming from usually some type of stock thing or just some fiat based type of economics or financial type of resource, and they try to explain something, or they try to shed light on silver and purposely leave out context or make they'll purposely misword things, or like they won't just bash silver, but the way they'll put it is making silver just seem like it's not, so it doesn't sound like they're bad people or trying to hate on silver, but they'll put it in the way that the audience or the reader won't think silver is for them. So it's like it's really manipulative. But anyways, I'm gonna wrap this video up here. If you thought this video was educational, informational, at least entertaining, make sure to smash the like button. I'm gonna post these articles in the description. What else do you think about this? Is there any other myths that you heard? Is there anything else that maybe you heard, or one of these myths that stood out to you that you want to talk about? Let me know. I would love for you all to participate. I'm doing a 47K giveaway. We're right around the corner, so if you want a chance to win some free silver, make sure you subscribe, click the bell so you won't miss the entry video. That's important as well. Thanks for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.